Christina of CraftyPaws. I made this card for a special crafty friend who happens to be a teacher. And I thought I would come on and share with you guys my thinking process for how I design and finish off cards. It's a question that I get asked periodically, so I thought I would share kind of the step-by-step things that I go through when I am designing a card. So usually I try to make bespoke or customized, personalized cards. And for my friend who's a teacher, I thought this super cute stamp from the greeting farm called Fairest would be perfect. She's obviously designed to mimic Sleeping Beauty, but I thought she would make a really cute student who's offering up this apple for her teacher. And as I was thinking through that theme, I remembered the Bing Crosby song, An Apple for the Teacher. So I knew right away that I would use some of the lyrics for that song in my sentiment for the card. So I printed out some of the lyrics in brown ink, and this reads, "An apple for the teacher will always do the trick." And the inside says, "When you don't know your lesson in arithmetic." I thought that was so cute. So from there, before I even picked out the colors to color this image, I knew I had in my stash some apple pattern paper. So I went through and found that this was the paper collection. It's called Nightfall by American Crafts, and it's a few years old. And this is the paper that I was thinking of. Isn't that cute? It is in fall or autumnal earthy colors. And I thought that would make a great back panel behind the little image. And I could take my cues from that pattern paper for the colors I would choose to color up this image, which I did with Copic markers. And if you're interested in the particular colors that I used, I'll be listing all of those in my blog, which I will link to below. And so from this pattern paper, I had my color story. It was going to be in kind of this minty blue-green, and then have these rust colors or mustard colors. And then as I was coloring up this image, I realized, ooh, I have this apple here. I could make it a red apple or a green apple, but I thought the green might clash with this blue-green that's in this background. So I went with a red apple. And rather than doing an orangey-based red, I decided to go burgundy because I thought that would be a nice accent color. So I colored that up, and then I knew I wanted to repeat all of the colors in the card design. So I matted this back panel here with some burgundy cardstock. I also, after coloring up the image, had this beautiful doily die that was in a prize package that I won from Barbara Alexander, and it seemed to fit the image perfectly. See, all of the little cuts don't cut into the actual image, but frame it so well. And I tried just layering it on top of this background papers that I had decided to use, but because the white was so close to the mint, and there are these polka dots in this mustardy yellow paper that were very close to the white, it wasn't giving a very clean look. So I decided to take more of that burgundy, repeat it from the apple and matting here, and adhered it behind the doily die. And then I just went through and kind of fussy cut around the die to give basically an even edge all the way around. And with that matting, it offset the image and made that a real focal point without getting kind of visually cluttered with all of these background papers. Then for the sentiment, I knew I wanted it to go along the bottom here, and I just hand cut out a fishtail banner. Then I fussy cut out one of the apples from a leftover scrap of this apple paper and put that right here. And I thought that accented it really nicely. So the color story for this card came from this pattern paper. And what about the card design itself? Sometimes card designs just develop as I'm adding layers or thinking about different accent pieces, but this particular structure came from the MFT Sketch Challenge. And when I'm lacking a little crafty mojo, I find that those kind of sketch challenges or even color challenges really help my creativity flow. So after color and sketch or design, I think about finishing touches. So what are the things that I think about when I'm designing a card? First is balance. There are some cards that are designed in thirds, some things that are centered, some things that are offset. This one is obviously very balanced, right in the center. But not only is it balanced with the overall structure, I generally go through and try to balance, like if there's a pattern paper like these polka dots, I try to balance the whole card, meaning that there is a dot here and a dot here just beyond the frame. The edge of the paper has just a smidgen of this row of polka dots here, and it's the same on this side here. So if I took this card in the center, it would have the same number of dots on this side as on this side. Similarly, for this doily die, I made sure that the image was right along the center axis. Even this background apple paper that you only see little bits of at this point, it's balanced right down the middle. I made sure that I cut this center panel so that the apples would not be cut off center. So it fits 4 columns of apples across on this panel. So those kinds of details, balance, matting like this, adding dimension. I pop this layer and this layer up on some craft foam. Details like shine, I added glossy accents to the apple. Sometimes you'll find accents like sequins or glitter. I also try to finish off the insides of my cards. This is another pattern paper from that Nightfall collection in the same color tones, but it has stars. I matted this white cardstock where I'll write my message with craft cardstock. I took leftover pattern papers that are on the front of the card and repeated them onto hand-cut fishtail banners. Other accents that I think about including if I'm not going to use enamel dots or something like that. In this case, I use staples, and I stapled this in an X formation, and that attaches the fishtail banners. And then over the top of that, I added a heart paperclip, which I thought was a really cute little accent. So those are the kinds of things that I think about when designing a card. Color, design or structure, and finishing touches. With those 3 basic things to think through, cards come out looking very finished and polished, and I think the recipient can feel the love and care that went into the card or whatever project you're working on. I hope you guys are having a wonderful crafty day, and thanks for watching.